Clasico matches, as we see the foul there by Camavinga. The last 5. So that's this season's meeting, and the 4 last season have produced a total of 26 goals. Good atmosphere as well in the stadium. Koundé. Pedri with the ball forward, which was badly overhit. Says he wants to see the same type of united team performance that he did in the semi-final. Hansi Flick, they were exceptional in that victory over Athletic Club. Just blew them away, really. That 16-minute spell in particular in the first half.
That's what Barca can do. They've got that about them, that little sort of 15 minutes of pure magic. And if they score during that period of time, then, you know, that's what wins them games.
To drift out by Balde. Koundé. Lamine Yamal trapped all the way here. Mert gets away. And here come Barcelona with Garcia. Balde shows down the line. Rafinha has come inside, as he likes to do. Just off the heel of Rafinha. Valverde, that was a risky pass, and Lewandowski is one of those there. Already a good tempo to the game. Asked a lot of Rafinha to try and keep that in.
Yeah, a really good start from Barcelona. They've been patient at times, just keeping the ball, taking the ball away from Real Madrid, but win the ball back as well in their defensive third. They get the ball back very quickly and press them and win the ball. Here they are again, look, gaining possession very quickly after losing it, and then they set themselves up to keep that possession going.
Lamine Yamal was caught there, foul by Carreras. It's a really important battle, isn't it, down the Real Madrid left. He certainly came into this tournament a man under pressure. Xabi Alonso, that's if you believe the Spanish press anyway. Saw one report that talked about him walking a tightrope. Saw one description saying that this could be a competition that sets the ship on its way or sinks it.
Oh dear. No pressure then. But as I said earlier, if you're a Real Madrid manager, there's gonna come. If you don't get consistent results, that pressure will build up.
Kubasi, Koundé, Pedri, Lewandowski beyond him. Pedri, it's a good run this. Look for Lewandowski, it's an awkward ball for him. This is Camavinga. One for Vinicius Junior to chase, and out came Joan Garcia, who was absolutely outstanding in the recent victory over his former club, Espanyol.
That was good sweeping from the keeper there, and he has to be a good sweeper, because it's Barcelona side. They want to hold that high line, and that ball from Camavinga just sent over in one, and suddenly they've turned it into an attack. Madrid, that's how I think the pattern of the play is going to be. Barcelona in possession, but Real Madrid looking to look on the counter and break on the counter.
Koundé, Rafinha, Lewandowski, promising this for Barcelona. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha waits in the box, others arriving too. Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Koundé, Lewandowski was in there, but so was House. Barcelona on top.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
We welcome viewers to TNT Sports 1. As we see here, this Barcelona build-up in Glenn, they've been the better side in the early stages.
Oh, without a doubt. They've had the ball, they've kept possession, and they've created stuff as well. But there's players already, what are we into the game? 6 or 7 minutes. There's players on the Real Madrid side haven't touched the ball yet. They haven't had a touch of the ball, and it's been Barca that's been aggressive with the ball, but aggressive in the tackle as well, winning the ball back. And I think Xavi Alonso's got to have a quick word or get to the captain and try and get this Real Madrid side ticking, because they just haven't seen the ball.
Well, whilst this side did beat Atletico in the semi-final, even the captain Valverde said afterwards, look, Atletico were better than us on the night in terms of the run of play. They created a lot of chances. Atleti, they were really unlucky to lose that game. But on the attack here, Vinicius Junior with Garcia waiting in the box, and they get their first corner of the game.
Yeah, lovely little run, isn't it, in behind from Vinicius. But I think that's the problem. The only Achilles heel for Barcelona, look, you'll see it now. Look at that back four. They stay rigid, even if it's a high line at the halfway line or even around, in and around their penalty area. They hold that line, and that's where you can actually penetrate. You can get a ball in, a good runner. If the run's timed well, you can get in behind this Barcelona defence.
So Rodrigo to take the corner in the 8th minute here. Punch clear by Joan Garcia. Rafinha chasing this. Followed out by Rodrigo. Great intensity and energy about the game. Camavinga. Two sides just looking to go at each other. Let's hope it carries on like that. Vinicius Junior goes on the outside, and Garcia's arriving in the box. Still Vinicius. And Valverde played it across the area, but not to a white shirt. De Jong. Bellingham. The young centre-forward, Gonzalo Garcia, didn't really see a great deal of the ball in the semi-final against Atletico. That after he'd scored his first La Liga goals in that big win over Betis before they travelled out to the Middle East. Be interesting to see if they can get more service into him tonight. Pedri now for Barcelona. Koundé. Garcia, Lewandowski, Balde, Rafinha. Garcia. Again, Rafinha's come inside into Lewandowski. It went, but couldn't bring it under his spell. Kubasi with the ball out wide.
Lewandowski there, if his touch is right, he would have shriveled on that. He was looking to take one touch and get a shot off, but again, the same pattern, isn't it? Barcelona with the ball, and Real Madrid have really got a challenge on their hands here to get some possession and to actually get a close and win the ball back from Barcelona.
Madrid only had just under 32% of the possession in their win over Barcelona in October, but 10 shots on target to Barca's 6. Just shows you how misleading the possession count can be, doesn't it?
Of course. I mean, a lot of possession really is along the centre-backs around the back, as we're seeing Real Madrid do it at the moment. But yeah, possession is only good possession if it's positive and you can actually have an end product, something at the end of that possession. Doesn't count for much if it's in your own half for a long period of time.
It was a race that Balde was never going to win.
That's the little tactic that they've got there. Balde is going to give the width for Barcelona, and that allows Rafinha to go and float. He's not really been wide on this left-hand side. He's been floating in off the front, close to Lewandowski, and he's been causing a problem. They can't pick him up at the moment.
Well, Balde's ability to get high and wide, of course, does allow Rafinha to move inside where he can be so dangerous. Has done so much good work under Hansi Flick, who really reignited his Barcelona career. Balde. Koundé. Lamine Yamal. Poor ball. Bellingham. Valverde. House. Bellingham has gone down, but won't get a free kick. And Real Madrid not really keeping the ball very well at all.
No, and I think Barca have they're switched on to their defensive game as well. Not only have they had plenty of possession and they're creative, but they're actually closing down together and hunting in packs to win the ball back again.
Lamine Yamal. Koundé. Pedri. Lamine Yamal. De Jong. Garcia. Balde. Frenkie de Jong. Lamine Yamal. Spotted the movement here from Koundé. Carreras.
Really well there, whereas he had nowhere to go. He was down a blind alley, but he's come out and got an important foul for his team, and now he can just relieve the pressure a little bit.
In his second spell now at Real Madrid, the left-back had 3 years as a youngster before leaving for Manchester United at the age of 17. Here's Vinicius Junior, skips away from the challenge. Support's arriving, but he went alone, and maybe is regretting that with Garcia arriving in the middle.
Well, there's the option. That ball went on a high line to get in behind. Vinicius gets in behind, but he doesn't use it well. Didn't even have a little look, I don't think. Should be looking at his teammates, really, but we'll have a look at that in the replay. But Barca now on the attack again.
"16 Real Madrid matches now without a goal for Vinicius Junior.
This is how high they are. Look, one little overball and they're in behind. Now, you watch Courtois as well. Courtois does really well here. He goes to come and he just stays deep. He doesn't come out towards the ball, towards Vinicius, where he might get beaten for pace. He stayed inside, 2 yards outside his goal line, which has made it much more difficult for Vinicius.
Rafinha to take the corner at the other end. Deep delivery, and it caused some problems. Carreras got his head on that to block it. Garcia, player wearing the mask, tried to just divert that towards goal. Howson. Gonzalo Garcia, Howson, Vinicius Junior hugging the touchline. Howson's continued his movement forward. Vinicius Junior looking to cause problems again and put out by Rafinha, who looks really pumped up for this.
What a great example that was. Great to see two wingers having a go there, and Rafinha, brilliant defending, tracking, determination to make sure Vinicius doesn't get away from him. This is the half a chance there. I think it was going goalwards, actually. I think he gets a good header, actually, towards goal, and I think it just gets blocked. Very unfortunate there, but a great race down that left wing, wasn't it? Two wingers going for it.
First 15 minutes have been a good watch, but still we await the opening goal in this Clásico to decide who wins the first silverware of the season in Spain. Kubasi, detailed to Mark Howson. Rodrigo to swing in the corner. Good claim, though, by Garcia. Lamine Yamal. Frenkie de Jong. Pedri. Just caught there by Bellingham.
Yeah, just a little bit of frustration there, I think, from Bellingham. He hasn't had that much of the ball, and he's been chasing it. That midfield for Real Madrid has been chasing the ball all day long. Just leaves a little bit on him. Not too much, was it? That was one there. I think as a referee, you sort of play on, really, let the game flow.
He's made the most tackles of any Real Madrid player in La Liga this season, Jude Bellingham. Kubasi, still only 18. It's hard to believe, isn't it, really? Made his 100th appearance for the club last month. Eric Garcia. Balde. Frenkie de Jong. Garcia has found some space here. Can he exploit it? Rafinha gets involved. Balde might want it down the left, but inside he goes instead. Lamine Yamal. Lewandowski beaten in the air. And they did well to prevent any sort of counter-attack there. Snuffed out immediately by Jules Koundé.
That's what's been so impressive as well. I mean, they go into a three at the back in possession, and it's the outside centre-backs that can actually end up, and Koundé plays it really as a right-sided centre-back here. And Yamal holds the width there, and Balde plays it. So it's very difficult to get any pressure on the ball, because there's always a spare man.
Kubasi, Koundé. Good challenge right on the edge of the box, and then Bellingham is fouled by Rafinha.
Yeah, he just hooks him there, doesn't he? Tries to stop the flow so they can't counter Real Madrid. That's a foul in anyone's book, that one.
TNT Sports, the home of the Adobe Women's FA Cup, with 4 live matches from round 4 coming next week, including an all-women's Super League clash between Arsenal and Aston Villa. Well, a brilliant weekend in the men's competition, and I was very fortunate to be at Macclesfield for that incredible victory. Maybe the greatest shot we've ever seen in the FA Cup.
Well, the fact that it was the holders as well, you know, you couldn't write it, could you? Let's be fair. It was a fabulous... well, that's what the FA Cup... We all say it's what the FA Cup's all about.
And the draw tomorrow, be really interested to see Macclesfield get in the 4th round.
It's difficult, really, isn't it? Do they want to be at home again and have the glory at home, or do they want a big tie, you know, away at Arsenal or something like that?
Koundé. Carreras, Camavinga, Howson. It's 5 wins in a row for Real Madrid, who scored 14 goals in the process. I don't think people are still entirely convinced performance-wise, though. That's still being questioned. But whatever Xabi Alonso is able to post victories that will keep maybe the critics at bay. But this is such a big game for him, you feel, in terms of his future with the club. As I said earlier, everyone will have their opinion on whether that's fair or not, but I think that is the reality, that there's more pressure on him, as you said earlier, Glenn, than there is on his opposite number, Hansi Flick, considerably more.
Yeah, and I think his team will be judged more when they play against Barcelona. How close are they to Barcelona? I think if they can set the ball up in this game, particularly in that middle third, at the moment they've had to defend in numbers and get really deep. Hang on, something's happening here. It's going to get fractious. It always does with these two teams.
Well, it certainly did right at the end of the league game, which Real Madrid won back in October. Lunin and Pedri were both sent off in that game. That's what they're unhappy about. Carreras with the challenge on Lamine Yamal. It was very, very late indeed. A bit naughty, that.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing, left a little bit on him, and not good at all, really. But he might have got away with that one. I don't know if he's going to get booked for that, but that's the sort of thing that the dark arts, that in the modern game it's very difficult to do that. Years gone by, oh my word, that was done to a penny. For a long period of game.
Probably on the end of a few.
I was on the end of a few. I had to dish out a few as well. At the end of the day, I learned the hard way that sometimes you had to meet fire with fire. But no, I think he's got away with that one. But it's nothing too malicious. But he knew what he was doing. I think they're frustrated, Real Madrid. They can't get the ball. They can't keep the ball when they've won it. But they have got a chance if they can set it up right. You can break this Barcelona defence down from 20 yards. If you're getting balls just in behind that sort of position, and you can slide balls from 20 yards, you can get in quite easily. This is where it's all gone off.
And it all got a little bit fractious in the Madrid derby in the semi-final between Simeone and Vinicius Junior. Simeone just basically trying to wind him up and succeeded, and there was a little bit of a very brief melee as Vinicius came off.
Simeone involved in something like that, Adam?
Who'd have thought it?
Who'd have thought that? That's unusual.
Xabi Alonso really did call it out, though. Afterwards said that he'd crossed a line, Simeone, and his goading of Vinicius. Garcia chasing this, but across came Kubasi.
A little period of time where the referee's got to really try and stamp some authority here. This could go a little bit here. There's a little bit of handball in there, but accidental. But I think the referee, there's just this 25 minutes nearly, you can just, it's simmering a little bit. I think there's a frustration about Real Madrid. Their players, they're trying to close, finding it very hard to win the ball back, and they're frustrated when they haven't had enough of the ball themselves. And he's got to really keep his eye out in the next 5-10 minutes, make sure that this doesn't explode.
Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, taken off him by Carreras, who's had a pretty solid start to the game. Gonzalo Garcia. Eric Garcia, the former Manchester City player. Frenkie de Jong. Lewandowski's on his way through the middle. Shorter ball to Rafinha. Pedri. Koundé. Fermin Lopez to Kubasi. Pedri. Alejandro Balde. Koundé. Patient in possession here, Barcelona. Eric Garcia to Pedri. Can he unlock the door? Koundé. Lamine Yamal. Koundé. Lamine Yamal. This is promising. And Lewandowski was waiting. It comes here to Balde. And this is Rafinha. Rather straight out. Thibaut Courtois didn't have to move much, did he? The Real Madrid goalkeeper.
Wonderful football from Barcelona. Patient build-up, short passing, keeping it across the back. Very much like it's like watching Manchester City. It's so similar. It really is. And then suddenly they inject a bit of pace, play a risk ball, and they're in behind.
Koundé. Such high concentration levels required from the defending team in these sort of situations against Barcelona.
Well, Barcelona and Man City, very similar, as I've just said there. And what they do is, by keeping this ball, it looks like they're not doing that much, but they're not. They're changing the angle of the ball. And every time the angle of the ball changes, defensively, you've got to adjust as well. And if you don't, you get caught out at some stage. And that's the reason why they keep that possession.
Bellingham, two good omens perhaps for Real Madrid. It's been 8 years since the reigning league champions went on to win the following Super Cup. And no team has lifted the trophy in back-to-back seasons for, would you believe this, 15 years. Guardiola was in charge of Barcelona when they won it 3 times between 2009 and 2011. But it's been a hard trophy to keep hold of, this one. Eric Garcia. Kubasi. Koundé. Frenkie de Jong found space and he's got options either side of him. A luxury of options, really. Lamine Yamal. Koundé's made a run. Lewandowski, Koundé, Lamine Yamal. De Jong, can they get some service into Lewandowski? Lamine Yamal again, it got away from him. Bellingham fouled. And a chance perhaps for Real Madrid, well, to catch their breath and get up the pitch.
Absolutely, yeah. Good mature play again from Bellingham there, really. He just drew the foul. Look, he knows he gets his body, gets his arm across and draws the foul. He had nowhere to go. He had no white shirt available. But again, really good play from the build-up from Barcelona for that chance there. It was wonderful. Courtois straight down his throat. Doesn't even think about catching that one. The power of these balls nowadays. Just gets his hands behind, punches it away. But Barcelona have been absolutely brilliant the way they've played at the moment. They're totally in control of this game. But I keep saying it, you can break down this Barcelona's defence with that high line. They take a risk.
Chance for the players to take on some water, and while they do that, I can tell you that we have more live FA Cup action coming up for you tomorrow night. We're at Anfield, Liverpool against Barnsley. Programme begins at 6:30. We have the FA Cup 4th round draw as part of that programme on TNT Sports 1. And as I say, I think a lot of people will be looking out for who the lowest ranked team in the competition, Macclesfield, get. Xabi Alonso getting messages across to his players here. If you were in his position, Glenn, what would you be saying in terms of what they could do better here, Real Madrid?
Well, I think they're finding it really hard to close. I think they've dropped in, tried to press high, and Barca just played straight through them, and that's a problem. I think they're doing the right thing in getting behind the ball. I think once they win the ball, they've got to make, whoever wins the ball has got to be brave on the ball, and they've got to receive the under a bit of pressure themselves to make 2 or 3 passes. That's what I'd be saying. If you make the 2 and 3 passes in that midfield area, then the likes of Vinicius and Rodrigo, they've got the pace to get in behind this defence, and then you can slide that ball in quite easily. I think that's the big Achilles heel for Barcelona. I don't know whether they'll go on and win the Champions League because of that reason eventually. They're a wonderful team, but I just think it's too easy to play against if you get what I call a set-up ball. If you can set that ball up and get that runner going, you can get in behind them quite easily.
We saw Rodrigo score from the sort of situation that you're describing there in the win over Atletico. The two presidents not too far apart.
Both on their phones.
Yeah.
Talk to each other, guys.
It didn't seem overly friendly, I have to say, when the two head coaches met yesterday at the stadium to do a round of photographs posing with the trophy. It was described in some of the press as a bit cold between Alonso and Flick.
You'd probably expect that. Yes, the day before a big final, you know. Maybe if you meet them in a month's time in a restaurant, they'll be having a nice beer and a nice chat about football. But, yeah, building up to a final, you're not expecting them to sort of be best of mates.
Will we get to see Kylian Mbappe tonight? Just how fit is he as well? That's the big question mark. It had been reported initially before the competition that he was ruled out entirely, but flew out in the end on Friday. De Jong blocked the pass from Bellingham, header by Valverde. Rodrigo, and there's the one over the top for Garcia. Now can he find the finish? So it was tame, really tame. That's the opportunity that they've been hoping for.
That is exactly what we're talking about. That time they get in that little pocket and it's a headed ball over the top. It's just, unfortunately, Garcia. We're talking about Mbappe seconds before. Now that is where, you know, you miss your class, your world-class player. If Mbappe's got onto that ball, he was onside. I think it's 1-0 Real Madrid. No disrespect to Garcia, but it was a tame finish, wasn't it? But that's the opportunity for Real Madrid. They've got to take them. Vinicius has been in once. Now Garcia's got in, but you have to take them opportunities against them because it might be a long while until you get another one.
Lovely ball, Pedri, Lewandowski's in there, others too, and it was Fermin Lopez who got right underneath it. But that's how quickly they can hit you, Barcelona.
Well, Real Madrid tried to close them a little bit higher up the pitch, and that's what they can do. If they slide that ball in behind your midfield, wow, they're away quickly, and look, they're open spaces, and it's very unusual because Madrid have been sort of dropping in there and making it tough, but they can hit you on the counter, Barcelona, as well. And Lopez just couldn't stay over the top of it.
It was just a real lack of conviction about the effort from Gonzalo Garcia, which was certainly not the case when he scored his first La Liga goals against Betis before this competition. Got a hat-trick. It was a perfect hat-trick. The second goal in particular was absolutely wonderful, but just didn't look like he believed, did he, as he went through there?
I didn't fancy him, I've got to say, and I don't think he fancied it himself. As he was going through, he needed to take probably one more touch, a little bit closer, and then finish, but didn't have that confidence.
That's a giveaway by Valverde, and now it's Lewandowski. Lamine Yamal with the first-time ball, and he's got him. Rafinha put it wide. Would you believe that? What a pass it was to pick him out from Lamine Yamal. And you fully expected the net to bulge.
Wow, what a top-quality pass that is from Yamal. He's been quiet most of the game. He's been out on that left-hand side. He's got him a couple of times in behind, but what a pass. First-time ball. You can't play offside. It's difficult to play offside if somebody plays a pass first time. And Rafinha, my word, you won't get a better chance than that. He's hit it with the inside of his foot when, in some ways, he's got to hit it with the outside of his left foot to bring it back in inside the post, but absolutely made an absolute pig's ear of it. Let's be fair. It's a wonderful pass, though. Great vision, and the weight of it was fantastic. Because it's left-footed as well, it had to be perfection, because if not, it runs through to the goalkeeper.
Here they come again. Rafinha again. Lewandowski to his right. Lamine Yamal's up there. He didn't need him. Makes amends almost immediately. Superb from Rafinha. How good he's been of late. And now on the score sheet in the Super Cup final. So soon after he'd missed such a gilt-edged chance as well. But it's Barcelona who lead.
My word, what a reaction after I've called him he's made a pig's ear of the first one, which he certainly did. But what the confidence he's got. He's come back again. He's gone through the legs of defender. It's a really cute finish. People might think that it was a little bit lucky, but no, he's waited for that. He knows that the right foot's got to come out to be blocked. Here they go. They've got open spaces. They've got a 3v2. He doesn't need anyone else. He just shifts the ball and he drags it up through the defender's legs. You watch it. Just moves the ball to the left bank. There. Through the legs into the bottom corner. No chance for Courtois. There you go. That is design by design. And after he missed the sitter, my word, that didn't matter. Top players, that doesn't matter to them. Mentally, he's not even thinking about that. He just says, here we go, I'll punish you this time. And Xabi Alonso's got all the problems to work out between now and half-time.
He was preaching calm there, wasn't it, Xabi Alonso? But as I said, Rafinha in blistering form. That's 7 goals in 7 games. Loves play. That's his 6th goal in 12 games against them. There was 3 assists in there as well. Got 2 goals and an assist in last season's Supercopa final 2. But we have the deadlock broken. There's been such an energy about this game, almost from the word go.
It's been a terrific game, it really has, because Barca have been excellent. They've been absolutely different class as a football team. But Real Madrid have had 2 really good chances, and if they'd have taken them, you know, psychologically and the confidence would have been completely different. Now they've got a job on their hands.
Lamine Yamal, they want a second quickly. And they won't get it like that, tied it up by Asensio. But 4 players there, Barcelona players, inside the Real Madrid box. Camavinga. Let's see how Real Madrid react here. Remember, they won the first Clásico of the season, 2-1 in October. And it was Barcelona who dominated this fixture last season with those 4 victories. Beat Madrid in 2 cup finals as well. Howson almost letting in Fermin Lopez.
The big difference between the 2 teams is when Real Madrid have got the ball, you can't see a system. You really can't see a system, whereas Barcelona, you know, they go into a 3 when they've got possession. Yamal stays out wide and hugs the line, and Rafinha drifts and goes floating. There's a system that they play to, whereas Real at the moment just can't get the ball, and they haven't got any system. The only thing they've got is that ball over the top, as they've done twice already. And as I've said before, you've got to punish Barcelona when you get in there.
Koundé, Frenkie de Jong. Eric Garcia. Barcelona comfortably the better team at the moment. Balde. I suppose we may well find out if it stays like this just how fit Mbappe is, because they look like they could do with him, don't they?
Very much so. I mean, you always want an Mbappe on the pitch, but if it's a knee problem, it is a risk. It really is. A knee like that, a twisted knee, is either correct or it's not. It's got to be 90% is not good enough for that. You might get away with a different type of injury, but it would be a risk.
Pedri. Balde. 9 wins in a row for Barcelona coming into this. And last defeat against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez! And Courtois was in the way, but again, they're patient, they push, they probe, they wait for their moment and then look to strike.
Scintillating, absolutely scintillating. It's great possession play, but it's when they go up the gears. Look, Yamal suddenly, quick feet, a little darting run from behind. Wow, and Courtois again at that near post. He's going to have to play well tonight. He's going to get worked, isn't he? Again, straight down his throat. But lovely football, really great football. That's the tempo you want to play at, is it slow, and then suddenly you burst into a sprint.
Inside the final 5 minutes of this first half. Out it came to Pedri. Calm ball by him to Lamine Yamal, who pulls it across, and Thibaut Courtois is called into action again. It's all Barcelona in the latter stages of this first half.
Yeah, everything's been at the goalkeeper, apart from the goal where Rafinha went through the legs. Every chance that they've had, it's actually been down his throat, and he's dealt with it. He's parried, what, 3 away now. And as I just said, he's going to be in for a lively night, you feel, Courtois.
Rafinha's ball over here. Has been pretty meek at times in this first half from Real Madrid. Not really showing any personality, are they?
They can't get out. They can't actually get out. It's really difficult for them. Not only have Barcelona dictated the play and be creative, but look how they've pressed. They've actually been organised so well that they're going to press, they're going to take a chance. They have that high line anyway, so the defenders are going to be right up on that halfway line, which allows the players in midfield and the strikers to actually press and take a chance. And they're finding it so hard to get out, Real Madrid.
De Jong. Balde. In terms of looking a cohesive team unit, I mean, the contrast is stark, isn't it?
Chalk and cheese. The thing as well, when you're playing against Barcelona, they're enjoying themselves having this possession. That's a 50-50 one now. That was a really good time tackle there. Whether he just caught him Yamal for a slight second. Let's have a look here. Tries a little Cruyff there turn. Sort of wins the ball, but brings the player down as well. But the problem is, this is the chance. There's one here. Look, he never really got it under control. Took it very early. Might have just taken that to his left foot away from the defender and then gone for power. But what I'm saying is, when you're playing against Barcelona, you get fatigued. You're chasing the ball so much. You don't feel as if, you don't lose energy when you keep the ball and you're playing and you're running when you've got possession. But when you're chasing players and having to get back, and mentally it takes it out of you, your fatigue levels, and they'll pick them off later in the game.
Lamine Yamal. Could they get another one before half-time here? Koundé up with Lamine Yamal. Pedri. Garcia. Cleared by House. Again, they just can't keep it. Xabi Alonso didn't have a great record against Barca as a player. Lost half of his 30 matches against them, only won 8. And his side behind here as we head towards half-time. Lamine Yamal. Moving through the gears, finding Robert Lewandowski, just taken away from him. And it will be a corner, but he's starting to look really good, Lamine Yamal, tonight.
I think since that pass, the pass that he put Rafinha in, I think he's come alive, hasn't he? He's gone up the gears. He's coming inside, and he's causing problems. What he does, when he comes inside like this, his head's up. He can play up. Look, he's looked once, twice. He knows, look, he sees the picture. He's not even looking at the ball, and I think he played that for Lewandowski's left foot, so he goes in past the defender there, and Lewandowski was slightly unfortunate there.
Last minute of the first 45. And Xabi Alonso has got work to do at half-time. Pedri, but only the one goal in it. As big as the difference in quality has been between the two sides in this first half, we should remember Real Madrid probably could and probably should have taken the lead. Vinicius had a good chance as well.
When we talk about chances, you're asking for chances one-on-one for goalkeeper, and they've had the two chances they've created were over the top and they're away from defenders. They were one-on-one with the keeper, and they decided both times to shoot, but they're good chances, really good chances.
A minimum of 3 minutes added time at the end of this first half. De Jong. Rafinha. Pedri. Bellingham looked to take it off him. Howson played forwards. Bellingham. Garcia, that's better, but then it's given away. Seized upon by Eric Garcia. And this could be trouble for Real Madrid. Lewandowski wasn't really quite alive to that, and this is Gonzalo Garcia. Vinicius up against Koundé. It's to go on the outside of the French international. Could they craft something at the end of this first half? Good run by Vinicius Junior. Brilliant! Oh, what a goal! Fabulous individual goal from Vinicius Junior. Levels the score right at the end of this first half. But that was sheer quality from the Brazilian, who ends his long wait for a goal. And what a goal it was.
Fantastic. This game, it just gives you, doesn't it? Keeps giving this game. It's an amazing game. Real Madrid have had no pattern of play. They've just waited on individuals, that little ball that we're talking about over the top. But my word, when you get a player, he hasn't scored as well. It's not like he's in a great vein of form scoring goals. But my word, he's gone past the Koundé, the fullback, a couple of times now and used his pace. And that's what they've been waiting for. A 1v1, no protection. They're trying to get across Barcelona players there. But this is where he squares him up there. And he just nutmegs him and comes inside, keeps his head, shifted the ball. That's what wins gets the goal here. This is a lovely bit of play. He's looked at him and he's gone there, little nutmegs in the other side. That shifted the ball there just to make the angle to beat Garcia, the keeper. It's that there. It goes through the nutmegs and it's a beautiful, beautiful bit of play. Absolutely wonderful play. And he just shifts it and he goes in that bottom corner. And my word, Barcelona have really, really a side that should have been 2 or 3 up, really, in many ways, the way they've played. But this Real Madrid side, they've got this capability.
16 games he'd gone without a goal. Backed by Xabi Alonso and several teammates ahead of this. Alonso said, look, he'll be back to his best soon and he'll be decisive. Well, he certainly was there. That is some goal. And it's game on again here. And you've just got to love these matches between these two clubs. You just can't take your eyes off it.
Well, we said it before the game. We were looking forward to it. We felt it was going to be an absolute stormer of a game. And my word, this first half just keeps giving us. I mean, it's wonderful football from Barcelona, but, you know, Real Madrid, they're always going to be a threat.
Pedri and Lewandowski's in! Oh, what a finish! Brilliant from Barcelona! And they go back in front almost immediately. And he, Robert Lewandowski, has made a career out of finishes like that. Exquisite from the Poland international.
Oh, what a goal. And what a response. What a response after Vinicius' individual goal. They're complaining about something. Maybe they're looking for offside. I felt he might be close to being offside here. But what a finish. I mean, a great ball as well. Pedri, look, there he is, he's onside, he's way onside, beautiful finish. That's the template. If you said, Lewandowski, visualise a goal that he would score, this would be it. Time and time again, we've seen that sort of finish. It's his template. He just keeps his head, the touch is perfect there. And as he comes in, he knows exactly what he's doing. It's on the way up the ball. It's not a little stab because the ball's not on the deck. He's actually just got, look, it's up in the air there. Oh, it's a beautiful little technique. It really is, to keep your head inside the post. And my word, what a game we have got. Look at that, look at the response. It's brilliant. That's what football can give you.
What a reaction from Flick's side. And what a player, what a career. What a finish. By his exceptionally high standards, he's not been scoring that regularly of late. Only 1 goal in his last 6 games, but 42 in 52 appearances last season. Bellingham, what an end to this half. Bellingham and Garcia goes down, and it's going to be a corner. We're in the 6th minute of added time. There was only meant to be 3. This is brilliant. Just let it keep going.
Can we not stop? Can we just keep playing through? Don't have half time. I know it's hot out there, but just keep playing, lads, because this is brilliant.
Can't wait for the second half already. Garcia being watched closely. Rodrigo with the ball over. Howson with the header off the bar. Oh, and it's in. It's remarkable. It's Gonzalo Garcia. And it's 2-2. Can you believe what we're seeing here? What a game. And we've still got a second half to go yet.
Oh, this is remarkable. They're complaining about something, I don't know, but I thought it was a goal 3 times. I thought, I'm up thinking they'll be quiet. Again, and then it's hit the bar. Oh, my word. What a finish. And, he'll be so pleased, Garcia, because he's had a great chance there, one-on-one with the keeper. Let's have a look. It's a really good ball in. They win the first contact. That's the key. It's the post, the bar. You think it's in, and it hits the bar, underside of the bar. It's Howson that makes that, and he gets a little touch, Rafinha, just a slight touch, and then you think, oh, there's the chance gone. It's a brilliant, he's falling backwards. It's a brilliant finish from Garcia. It really is.
Rafinha did brilliantly to get something on that.
Just gets a little bit of a touch on there to save it. But as he's falling, he's under immense pressure. There's the manager. He can't really see it properly from where he is, but my word, that's the reaction. It's exactly what he wanted. And he'll feel great, that young man, because he missed a great opportunity to equalise earlier on in the game.
These matches mean everything, and I think the scenes we've seen at the end of this first half really does underline that. The two head coaches just living on their nerves out there. Flick looks furious. Twice his side have led. Twice they've been pegged back. And we're in the 8th minute of added time at the end of the first half.
I think the referee actually is enjoying it as well.
I
don't know where that's come from.
Oh, finally, we get the half-time whistle. Well, we've had our money's worth in that first half. Wow, what a game this is. Fantastic contest. We've seen some fantastic finishes as well, not least from Robert Lewandowski. Rafinha's wasn't bad either, was it? Gonzalo Garcia with tremendous improvisation as he was falling to the ground, and some individual brilliance from Vinicius Junior as well. And this a game too that, well, you don't need me to tell you that it's got a whole lot more to give, I suspect, as well in the second half. Can't wait for it already. We'll look back at the best of the first half shortly, but at half-time in Jeddah, wow, chance to catch our breath. At half-time, Barcelona 2, Real Madrid 2.
So you're not on the plane yet? Delayed again?
in the bottom corner. No goalkeeper in the world can save that. You've got to pick up the position on the near post, and he just whips it back across into that bottom right corner.
And that was just the start of the madness, and it all happened really in added time at the end of the half. Real Madrid have been struggling, but they got this chance to raid down the left flank, and then, Glenn, it's all about the individual brilliance of Vinicius Junior.
This was individual brilliance at its best. It really was. And then he's had him a few times for pace. He's done him earlier a couple of times in the early stages of the first half. He's gone by him too easily. There's a beautiful little nutmegs, but he gets on the other side as well. And then there's the ball. The little shift of the ball is what makes the goal for him. There's that shift. So it gives him the angle, and he digs it out beautifully at full pace. It looks easy at slow motion, but that's going at full pace, and that was absolutely brilliant. But what a response from Barca.
Almost immediate as well, and that is just a classic Robert Lewandowski goal.
It is. You've seen him do it many, many times. It's sort of his template, if you like. First touch, brilliant, takes it where it is, and the ball's just up in the air, pops up in the air, and his timing of the technique is absolutely superb. He knows the keeper's going to come flying out, and he just gets that touch and skims it over the top of him. And they're thinking like 2-1, yeah, we've responded great, but my word, here we go, look at this, Real Madrid.
Gonzalo Garcia improvised superbly after somehow Rafinha managed to knock Howson's header onto the bar. Not even quite sure how he managed to do that, nor am I sure how Garcia finishes this, Glenn. The way he's falling down to do what he did was superb.
It's a better finish than you first think. Look, he's falling backwards, he's under immense pressure, and he manages to keep it under the bar, so it hits the underside of the bar. Rafinha, there's his effort. Look, double jump, really high, gets just the touch that's needed, thinks he's saved the day, but in the end, Garcia gets this little flick on, and look, there's the manager. Look, he thought it was in 3 times. And I think that's a different half-time talk now Xavi Alonso's got with his players, and they've got half a chance because, you know, although Barca have been the best team, Real Madrid are still in this game. Of course they are.
Frantic first half, and the second half coming up live next. looking to go 7 points above Napoli, and they're in the lead live right now on TNT Sports 2. But our focus is firmly on the Spanish Super Cup final, and what a first half it has been. That was the Lewandowski goal that put Barcelona 2-1 up, timed his run perfectly. Certainly no hint at all of offside, and it's just such an exquisite finish. 4 very different goals we've seen in that first half, but 4 sublime finishes. Kylian Mbappe was among those inquiring as to there might be an offside, but this finish as well is superb from Gonzalo Garcia, Glenn.
Yeah, it was actually. At the time, you wasn't quite sure how he managed to actually get the ball over the line off the crossbar, but he's falling backwards. He's under immense pressure. But as you say, 4 so different games. This is ready to go, this game as well, on and off the pitch. I think it could explode in many ways. I mean, as a football match, it's exploded already because it's been sensational. And there's 2 different type of styles. Barcelona have been almost perfect as a team, the way they play football. But Real Madrid were always going to be in this game with that high line. Vinicius knows he's got the pace of Koundé out on that left-hand side. So you'd imagine they'll be feeding in the ball non-stop. But no, it's an intriguing game as well as fantastic and fascinating.
Well, Real Madrid naturally desperate to stop Barca retaining the trophy that they won in 2025. Barca also the La Liga champions and Copa del Rey holders. What a job that man did in his first season. Barcelona with every single one of the major domestic honours. And it's another reason why there's so much pressure on Real Madrid. You noticed, Glenn, I think it was when they were celebrating off the bench, the Real Madrid substitutes, the equaliser, the second goal. Mbappe, who's had a left knee sprain, slipped, didn't he, as he got up to celebrate?
There's sort of astroturf in front of the bench, and he's jumped up with all his teammates, and he's got excited, and as he's jumped, his leg it slipped completely away, and I'm thinking, oh, if you've got a dodgy knee, that's not going to be helpful. But he looks okay in the tunnel. He'll be chomping on the bit to actually get out there if he is fit enough to be used for, well, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes if they need him. I think he would be one looking at that high line that Barca play and thinking, yeah, I can get my runs in behind there.
It was something that Flick did talk about, actually, that was asked about whether they would change things if Mbappe started, and he said, look, we're always looking to modify how we do things, but would we play quite as high maybe with Mbappe on the pitch? Perhaps not, but he didn't want to give too much away, but seemed to suggest that they might play it slightly differently with Mbappe playing up front.
Yeah, I think they'll have to look and learn from the other games that whenever Mbappe's played against them, how many times maybe he had got in. I mean, Vinicius actually looks like he's got the legs to get in. We saw Garcia get in down the middle, didn't he? And I think that is as I've said before, that's the way to break this Barcelona side down. What you do is, though, you don't have many opportunities to do that because it's very difficult to get the ball and have possession and have enough possession to do that. But I think with Mbappe's pace and his astuteness in the way he runs, because he bends his run and he's a cute runner, I think you'd have to sort of defend maybe 5 or 6 yards deeper. Depends what's happening on the ball as well, if their players are free to play the ball forward.
Yeah, Mbappe with 29 goals in all competitions this season. Will we get to see him in this second half? Where will this game take us next in this second half? The closing stages in particular of that first period were absolutely wonderful. Let's see what we get in this second period. Early free kick to Real Madrid, the foul by Frenkie de Jong.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a different pattern of the play from Barcelona, that's for sure. If anyone's got to change a few things and tweak a few things, it might be Real Madrid, because at the moment, you know, is that ball over the top? Get the ball out here to Vinicius, maybe. So he's faced up against Koundé, and he's got the running of him, he's got the pace on him, so it'll be interesting. I think it's, hopefully it'll be very much the same as the first half.
Kept in here by Vinicius Jr. Gonzalo Garcia waiting in the box, goes on the outside. Vinicius, he's looking in the mood, isn't he? And it was cut out by Koundé. And an early corner here to Los Blancos.
He's looking dangerous every time the ball's out. He uses his body really well. Look at him here. Some might say that's a foul, and it's experience. And then he gets onto the byline, just can't pick the right ball out. There was a white shirts, actually, teammates there available, but just couldn't quite thread it through.
Towards the near post, and it will be a goal kick to Barcelona. Kunde. Oh, giveaway here by Bellingham, and this is Rafinha. Lewandowski to his right. Still going Rafinha, look to try and play in Lewandowski. They just about got enough back in the end there, Real Madrid, but goodness me, they were stretched. Foul on Tchouaméni.
Yeah, they were stretched. Bellingham gives the ball away, but my word, he reacts in such a great way. He gets back, he's thinking, oh no, there's a chance going to be coming off my possession that I gave away, but he gets back in and makes a really, really vital tackle. There's the giveaway ball, little blind ball, but he does manage to get back in. Rafinha's just trying to thread one there to Lewandowski, and it's Bellingham again that makes up for his mistake.
Great recovery from the England international. Kunde fed by De Jong. Lewandowski with the header. Carreras sees it kept in by Rodrigo. Garcia. Frenkie de Jong. Lamine Yamal gets it back again. Referee allows them to go on. Pedri. And now Barcelona want it pulled back, but he said, I gave you the advantage, and he didn't make the most of it.
Yeah, you're right. You can't have both advantages. Referee's played on. He just gets there first, doesn't he? It is a foul as well, but good refereeing for me. Play on. Pedri decided not to have the shot.
Valverde. Bellingham. The first silverware of the season in Spain is being very keenly contested, to put it mildly. Couldn't just take the ball with him there, Vinicius Junior.
Yeah, I think he knew he had the pace. He tries to just knock it, oh yeah, outside of his foot. He tries to knock it past and go, and I think he knows he's got the pace of any defender in Barcelona at the moment.
It would be such a relief, you'd imagine, to him to finally end that goal drought. It's between that and the near constant speculation about his future at the club. Even for a player of his standing and quality, that must be distracting. Might play in your mind. I think those two things both going on at the same time. I told you earlier on that Di Marco had put Inter in front in the live game we're bringing to you from Serie A on 2. Well, Scott McTominay has got the equaliser at San Siro. And he's made such a habit of goals like that in Italy. Just knows the right time to arrive in the box. It's a big goal, potentially in the race for the title. So 1-1 at San Siro between Inter and Napoli. 2-2 here. Two wonderful games from the European game we're bringing you tonight. I hope you're enjoying them. Camavinga. Rodrigo, Vinicius Junior, Carreras on the outside, others arriving on the edge of the box. Vinicius Junior, and again, over the bar.
I said at half-time, I think that was what stuffed the ball to Vinicius all day long, and he's on fire at the moment. He comes inside, he gets the first shot in, and he follows it in. Garcia makes the save. It's not a really good save because it comes back into the danger zone. Really good power, but he's got to parry that out sideways, but it comes back into the danger zone, and Vinicius can't quite keep over the top of the ball. But a slight difference here. I think Real Madrid are really closing a lot higher. They're pressing a lot higher up, and Valverde's been put in ahead. He's playing now on the right-hand side, higher, much higher up, using his pace, and I think that's a slight positive change there for Real Madrid. It's interesting to see what Barca do about it.
Yeah, there was long periods of that first half where they were lacking personality. They were a little bit passive. We're seeing very little of the ball, Real Madrid, but yeah, that is really noticeable, isn't it, at the start of this second half? They're looking to be more proactive.
Yeah, they're looking to press as high as they can at times now. And if Barca beat the...
Frenkie de Jong goes down right on the edge of the box, the challenge by Bellingham, and the referee gives the free kick. He just gave himself the briefest of thinking time there, the referee.
Yeah, I think that's really good refereeing. I mean, players want instant decisions, and they're emotional. It's a big game, but it's a lovely little run from him. Just saying, he's asking somebody to bring him down there. He's not even looking to slide anyone in, not looking to shoot. Look, he's just saying, come and bring me down. And it's Bellingham that does it. Just brings him down at just outside the penalty area. Just make that contact there. It's a clever play from De Jong. Great position now for Barca.
What can they do with this free kick? Lewandowski to the left, Rafinha to the right. Camavinga, the player behind the wall.
It's interesting. I think the actual foul was closer to the line. They've dragged it back a little bit, which suits Rafinha, because to get it up and down when you're too close to that 18-yard box.
Could be a big moment, this. Lewandowski or Rafinha? Rafinha off target.
Sometimes it can be too close. I mean, you know, that's all about finesse. It's not about power when it's from there. And you can see he's tried to... Great picture of the wall there, jumping. Got some really good height, but he just couldn't quite bring it down. And that's the slight problem you have when it's too close to the 18-yard line.
Just a game that constantly feels on the edge, doesn't it? You wonder whether it's players who are currently on the bench who could end up deciding this. Remember, we get 90 minutes. If they're level after 90 minutes, it goes to penalties. There's still plenty of time for us to find a winner in the 90.
Yeah, I hope it's a winner in some ways. You know, it's been such a great game, that first half. Whether it continues in that vein, it certainly has so far. But Mbappe being told to warm up, that's a good sign from the Real Madrid fans. Yeah, the game actually deserves to be won, doesn't it? Not, you know, via not penalties. Penalties are always very difficult in my eyes.
Again, they look to get Vinicius on the ball. Kubasi in front of him. Vinicius to Rodrigo. Vinicius Junior again. Might look to Ben one here. He did! It's a corner.
Well, every single play down this left-hand side for Real Madrid. They've hardly been down the right-hand side, have they? It's give the ball to Vinicius. And then they have to get a covering man on him. He comes inside here. Doesn't quite, I think because the covering man on the inside, which didn't happen for his goal, but too many bodies there, he just couldn't quite whip it round in that corner, so he's actually had to go straighter, and obviously gets an easy save for the keeper. But no, it's get the ball out to him at the moment, keep him wide and feed him, causing all sorts of havoc down this left-hand side.
They struggled to handle the threat of Vinicius at times tonight. It's looked right back to his best. Then 10 minutes of this second half. Rodrigo with the ball over. Good claim by Joan Garcia. And that's a foul and a yellow card as well. Asensio with the challenge. And a booking for the Real Madrid man. And again, there's a bit of a flashpoint, as we saw one in the first half. The bench is getting involved now as well. Alonso and Flick in conversation. Araujo, one of the substitutes who's been injured recently, also having his say. And then Vinicius Junior, you saw there, leading away Rafinha, his international teammate. There's a lot of emotional players out there, and certainly Vinicius and Rafinha are two of those. This is what it's all about. Asensio with the challenge on Pedri, long after the ball had gone.
Yeah, and that deserves a booking, there's no doubt about it. He's very late, knows what he's doing. There's it's a really poor tackle, isn't it? It's afterwards now that the card comes out. Barca players are going and asking for something else. Now this is off the ball, yeah, they're all getting involved here. There's a little shove, then there's a shove back. There's the shove there on Rafinha. And down he goes, and referee saw it as well. Depends on the reaction, what is he going to do? But it's a shame really, because the football's been absolutely fantastic. But these two clubs, it does explode at times.
Let's be honest, we enjoy the angst as well, don't we?
Well, a little bit, as neutrals. It's quite nice, it's a bit of a throwback, isn't it? It's nice to see passion.
So Eric Garcia booked, Asensio booked. Koundé. Gonzalo Garcia with the foul there on Frenkie de Jong. All a bit stop-start at the moment, just lost a bit of its flow, the game.
Well, this will suit Real Madrid. I mean, the last thing they want is Barcelona in that rhythm that they had first half, and they were totally in control of the game. And this will suit Real Madrid. They must have had a little word about, let's make it a real cup tie at half-time and get the emotion flying, because at the moment, there's two football teams, it's a mismatch. Barcelona are a better football team, but my word, they've got the X factor in Vinicius at the moment, Real Madrid.
Just confirming Valverde was booked as well after that melee, along with Asensio and Garcia. That's Eric Garcia of Barcelona. Our next live Premier League game coming up on Saturday. 4:30 we start on TNT Sports 1. Off to the City Ground, Nottingham Forest, again title chasing Arsenal, of course. Forest battling the drop, big game there in Nottingham. Saturday 4:30 on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. Bellingham.
Barcelona, they're falling for this, you know, Barcelona. There's a little foul here. Bellingham does really well. He turns Pedri and he just holds him back. There's a foul, and they're all going to the referee. They're losing their concentration on how good they are as a football team, and everything. They're asking for bookings, they're asking for why it's a foul, and asking for fouls when there's not a foul, and just taking their eye off the ball, literally.
An hour gone. Nothing between these fierce rivals. The signal from Rodrigo. His ball towards the edge of the box. Valverde, nicely done to Howson, who couldn't control it. Was Real Madrid playing catch-up in La Liga, despite having a 5-point lead over Barca earlier on in the season. That's turned into a deficit after they dropped 9 points across November and December. Barca are actually 11 points better off in the league now than they were at this stage last season, when they went on to win the title. It's another free kick given away.
Lovely little bit of skill there Valverde. Beautiful. Nelson just doesn't actually get hold of the ball, does he? He's in a really good position. He's in the box on his own. But it's all a bit bitty now, isn't it? A lot of fouls, a lot of free kicks, stop-start.
Rodrigo to try again. Howson, one of several forward. The goalkeeper's come a long way and wasn't convincing. And Tchouaméni, and the goalkeeper, Garcia, retreats. And that's a really good ball. And this is Rafinha. Could do with some support. Well, he was looking for Lamine Yamal. He had nothing really in the way of options, not good ones anyway.
I think he had to wait, actually. He had to try and wait for his teammates to catch up, but decided to try and find someone. But it's an unusual move, actually, for them to be so strung out, because they normally keep the ball, don't they? They hit them on the break.
Vinicius Junior, lovely back heel. Rodrigo. And still Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. And Rodrigo! Saved by Joan Garcia.
Doesn't quite get it, does he? Doesn't quite catch it right. Again, down the left, everything's down the left side, isn't it? They've got to, I think somebody on that right-hand side has got to protect the full-back and the centre-back for Barca. They've got to be protected because everything's coming down that way. Whether that's a foul or not, the referee played on. He wasn't giving a foul, but you've got to think that I don't know. Yamal isn't getting back and tracking back. Someone's got to plug the gap there, whether it's a midfield player for Barca, because they just look so dangerous down that side. They look as if the goal's going to come from that area.
Kubasi, Jules Koundé, De Jong. Just wonder when we'll start to see the respective coaches show their hand in terms of changes and the effect they may or may not have. It's going to be fascinating. Movement here from Rafinha. He's got options in the box. It was cut out by Camavinga at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, the build-up was first time on the second half where they've come and they've got some real good possession, Barca, and they end up getting a corner and opening up. But there's the tackle there. Does catch him. Catches the ball first though. But for me, that's nothing. There's nothing there. Whether there was a foul on the keeper on Garcia, we'll have to wait and see. But the referee didn't give it.
Lamine Yamal with the ball in. Good ball too. Pushed away by Courtois. Vinicius. And look at the run of Valverde down the left as well. He decided to come inside when maybe Valverde was the pass.
No, it was the pass, Adam. Should have laid him in because he's quick as well, Valverde. No one would have caught him.
Changes coming from Barcelona. Looks like Torres and Olmo are going to be coming on. 25 minutes to go. Pedri, Rafinha, Pedri, Rafinha, Koundé, Lamine Yamal, Kubasi, Eric Garcia. De Jong. Now they move it more quickly, and Lewandowski struck one, and now it came to Pedri. Balde. De Jong. This is more like the Barcelona we saw in the first half, and then they give it away. Rodrigo. Foul by Koundé. And Real Madrid, one or two of them asking for a yellow card.
Yeah, professional foul. He knew exactly what he's doing there. The referee's actually been a bit lenient. It was a really good foul to give away in many ways because they were off and running.
So Ferran Torres coming on, Olmo coming on, Fermin Lopez coming off. As we have 25 minutes to go here. And Olmo recently back from an injury, 4 goals in his last 4 appearances, had scored in 3 games running before the semi-final against Athletic when he didn't score. Lewandowski comes off for Ferran Torres to come on. Said recently, Ferran Torres, he's confident that he can become Barca's starting centre-forward long-term. Well, this would be another great opportunity to prove that. Arda Güler waiting to come on for Real Madrid. Put into touch by Balde. So it's Valverde who's coming off here, and with the armband on. What a signing he's been. Wonderful player, been with Real Madrid nearly a decade now. €5 million he costs from Peñarol.
Yeah, a little bit surprised with that one, Adam, I've got to say. Unless he's injured, this has picked up a little bit of a strain or something, but very, very good. Vinicius now taking over the captaincy. Doesn't look injured, does he? He's coming off his strange one.
So Arda Güler comes on. Real Madrid's joint leading assist provider in La Liga this season with 5, and along with Vinicius. Only 4 La Liga players average more key passes per game, so in terms of creativity, they've brought on quite a lot here. It's a good run by Camavinga, but he wasn't found. Oh, lovely touch that to Olmo by Lamine Yamal. The amount of talent and skill on this pitch is just ridiculous, isn't it?
That's wonderful, isn't it? It really is wonderful. And you've got to give credit to Real Madrid. They've bounced back from... they took a hammering in many ways, football-wise, in the first half, but managed to get those 2 goals. But they've looked like the side that's going to get the 3rd. An opportunity after so many opportunities down this left-hand side, one after the other.
Kubasi. Still as we were at half-time after that frantic period in added time. Header forward by House, and now Lamine Yamal, and the pass was on for Rafinha. Asensio came across, and it was important for Real Madrid that he did.
Yeah, it was just that little glimpse. There's a lovely little flick from Yamal. Beautiful play. As you just said, Adam, there's so much talent out on that pitch.
Foul there by Rafinha, but he's so important to Hansi Flick in the way that Barcelona play. Wasn't named in the FIFA Best 11 for 2025, and Flick came out publicly and described that as a joke. Said the influence that he has on this Barcelona team is incredible. He was 5th in the Ballon d'Or voting. I'm not sure those individual awards mean quite as much as they do, but they do mean a lot.
If you're in them, they do.
Yeah. Rafinha, 20 minutes to go. Olmo. Lamine Yamal. He sprinkles some stardust here. Lamine Yamal to Frenkie de Jong. Koundé's a long way forward, fired across! And Lamine Yamal straight at Courtois. Good chance. Rodrigo's header. Gonzalo Garcia. Vinicius hit it first time, and Bellingham looking to make the run from midfield. Eric Garcia came across. Frantic 20 minutes ahead of us.
It's another reactional save, wasn't it, from Courtois? Straight at him again, another one. What, 4 or 5, or he's just had to parry them. And I think Yamal wasn't really in control. He was just happy to get his foot on it. But dangerous again. Barca just starting to get their game going again, get possession and, you know, change the angle of the ball like they are now, playing at their pace. They hadn't really done that second half. Real Madrid have been the team that have controlled it really in many ways, in a different way.
Lamine Yamal looks to go on the outside, then came back and found Koundé, De Jong, Koundé. Torres looked to try and work it through for Olmo. Bellingham trying to win it. Challenges flying in. Clever back heel. Ferran Torres with the ball across. Nobody there for Barcelona. Just looking to impose themselves now again, Barcelona, Glenn, as you were saying.
Yeah, a little bit, just trying to take control back in this game. You know, they had control of the game first half. They haven't really repeated that. There's that chance. Couldn't really open his foot out. He just reacts and he's overstretching, just happy to get something on it, and it's straight down Courtois' throat again. Parries it away.
Mbappe continues to warm up. When will Alonso feel the time is right for him? Could be soon. Lamine Yamal. Olmo, nice dummy. Torres, Olmo. And Rafinha slips and scores! Incredible! Barcelona are back in front, and it's Rafinha. Now this time, can they hold the lead?
Well, I'm actually scratching my head to see how this goes in. I see Courtois collapse almost. For me, that there must have been a deflection. Let's have another look at that, because they come alive again in and around the penalty area, Barcelona. Lovely little 1-2s, setting it up, and the energy gets higher. And suddenly you see Rafinha on his right foot. He takes a... It is time for Mbappe. I think Xabi Alonso would have only sort of risked him a little bit if he's needed, and he's needed now. He really is. You know, this is now... Can Barcelona shut the door? Can they actually keep it nice and tight, go 5 minutes without conceding? Because every time Real Madrid have bounced back straight away. The cooling break has come at a really good time for Barcelona to take the quell out of the game, to quiet it down. If they'd have continued playing, then that would have been the slight problem. That's when they were conceding too quickly and lost their head. So that cooling break is perfect timing for Barca.
So off comes Gonzalo Garcia, off comes Hausen. Mbappe is on. Alaba is on. His last appearance was the 19th of October. Mbappe, remember, was not expected to play any part at all in this Supercopa tournament. Flew out on Friday, had a left knee sprain, 9 goals in his last 6 appearances, 29 in all competitions. Can he rescue Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid here? 3-2 down with just under a quarter of an hour to go. They've come from behind twice in this game. Can they do it thrice? Lamine Yamal. Remember, Barcelona looking to retain the Super Cup, and no side has done that since 2011 when Guardiola was in charge of Barcelona. Thought you called it though, Glenn. There was just that period in the lead up to the goal where they started to look more like the Barcelona of the first half.
Yes, they've got and you can see now that goal, they've got the mojo back again. And this is what they needed to do. I think they've learned a little bit from the first half. Keep the ball, go nowhere, don't make an attack, just keep the ball for a period of time now. And that's more important than going for this for another goal at the moment. Keep the ball, quell the game, and play it at their pace.
The offside flag is up here. Lamine Yamal wants to try and place it.
I think there was a foul. I think the linesman saw a foul of some sort there. Yamal might have done something. He saw... let's have a little look. Something happens here. Yeah, look. He cuts across him first and foremost, and then Yamal makes the foul. It's a difficult one, that. Look, he cuts across him there. Zeros, and then he goes down, and because he goes down, I think the referee is given the free kick.
just kept in by Frenkie de Jong. The changes made by Flick have certainly given Barcelona fresh energy and momentum. I was only just saying before the goal how important Rafinha is to this team, and goodness me, showed it again tonight.
Yeah, has a little bit of luck there, but you've got to earn that luck. He's got himself in that position again. So he doesn't really play that wide. He's gone out in the wide position on occasions. He starts there, but he drifts in. And he ends up in the centre-forward position again. And as I say, there was a deflection, and that was the reason why the ball ends up in the back of the net. But you earn that luck, don't you?
Remember, he said he didn't feel trusted by Xavi when he was in charge. Says he feels so different under Flick, feels he suits Hansi Flick's system. Talked about having more defensive responsibility under Xavi. Olmo looking to get to this, and then couldn't keep it down. He's saying that came off the Real Madrid defender.
You will do. And you blasted one over the bar.
Camavinga. Pressure from Ferran Torres. As Hansi Flick pointed out yesterday, although they lost the La Liga game with Real Madrid this season, of course they'd beaten them 4 times under him in his first season in charge. And are they going to beat the old enemy again tonight? Real Madrid not really offering much at all going forward at the moment. Haven't got Mbappe involved since he came on.
Yeah, well, that distance of pass is not what they're looking for. They've got to get 20 yards from Mbappe and slide the ball into him. That's how they can actually penetrate this defence for Barca. And they haven't done that since he's been on the pitch.
Olmo. Just over 10 minutes to go. Lamine Yamal. Oh, so much movement off the ball. Lamine Yamal. They just can't get it off him. Still going. There's some suggestion, some of the supporters, that there might have been an arm used there, but I don't think there was.
That was brilliant, though, wasn't it? Great football, individual football. And it's a shame, actually, nothing come from it. That he didn't tee anyone up and assist a goal or score himself, because that was magical.
It's mad to think, really, that a deflected goal could settle this match when you think of the quality of the 4 finishes we saw in the first half. Rodrigo was quick to bounce back to his feet. And look at the tenacity there of the Barcelona players. Try and snuff out any danger quickly. Balde, the pressure from Arda Güler. The changes made by Flick so far have had a lot more impact than those made by Alonso.
Yeah, definitely. There's more energy about this team now, and they've got people like De Jong and Pedri still on the pitch who can keep the ball and can dictate the tempo of the game. But out here on this left-hand side, you can't count Real Madrid out.
Vinicius Junior got the pass wrong that time. Lamine Yamal being pulled back by Carreras. Yellow card shown there. Marcus Rashford is going to be coming on. Looking to win his first silverware with Barcelona, with news this week in Spain that Barca seemed keen to make his move a permanent one at the end of the season. Clear foul on Lamine Yamal by Carreras. Carreras books, by the way, just to confirm that. Martin also coming on here. As Barcelona now look to see this out. Eric Garcia, one of those being withdrawn with 8 minutes to go here. Having a good season, isn't he? Eric Garcia, we've seen him play in central midfield as well. He's providing Frenkie de Jong with competition for his place, but used in central defence tonight. Might have gone with Gerard Martin in the heart of the defence. Hansi Flick decided not to. Rafinha, after scoring twice, comes off. What a shift by him. When does he not put a big shift in?
Yeah, he worked hard defensively. Not only was he so good on the ball, and he might be the match winner with the third goal, but my word, he's worked extremely hard. He closes and impresses from the front. Look at Rashford now, he's fresh.
Slight push by Rashford. Camavinga is off, and Dani Ceballos is on here for Los Blancos. Can they put Barcelona under some pressure in the closing stages of the game? Been such a delight to watch this. Have we seen the last of the goals? Loose from Carreras. De Jong. Pedri always seems to know the right pass. Olmo. Rashford gets involved. Mastantuono has come on as well. This is Olmo. Pedri knows when to speed the game up and slow it down. Pedri, got to be one of the best around for that. Although he says he needs to get better in that respect. Rashford. De Jong. Olmo. Koundé. I have to say, the game has been played in a brilliant atmosphere in Jeddah.
It's been a fabulous game all round. The atmosphere, there's been a little bit of fractions between the two of them as well. It's exploded on occasion, but there's been some wonderful football, which is the main reason. Some great goals as well, but this game isn't over. Real will definitely get themselves a chance.
It's confirmation of that booking I told you about for Carreras.
Yamal was really clever there. He knew what he was doing there. He just kept his body in between ball and the player, and just enticed him to make the foul and gets him booked.
So hard to believe that he's only 18 years old. The La Liga Player of the Month for December, Lamine Yamal. Described by his coach, Hansi Flick, as a genius. He certainly played his part for Barcelona tonight. Here's Rodrigo. Arda Güler had made a good run, and that was a pretty cynical foul. Maybe one that needed to be made, though, from a Barcelona perspective, because, as I said, Arda Güler had made a cracking run.
Probably one of the easiest decisions for the referee he's ever had in his career. But
I don't think you can get more blatant than that.
Pedri knew what he was doing. Yeah, as you said, there was a break on, wasn't there? But actually, Real Madrid, when you think about it, they've hardly been down the right side at all in this second half. I can't remember them putting a pattern of play or attacking down that side. He's lucky he hasn't. He's picked the ball up after the booking, and he's just got to watch himself there, Pedri. Because if you don't give the ball back as quick, the referee could have turned that into a red.
Koundé. Carreras. Volley clearance. Ferran Torres, and Rashford will chase this, and he's got the pace to get there. Torres arriving on the edge of the box. Rashford now for Barcelona. Still going, Marcus Rashford. Just ran out of pitch in the end.
Yeah, he did. When he come inside there, I thought he was going to... There's a little tackle there, and that's a great tackle from him. Look, just gets there first, takes the ball. Yamal goes down as if he's been hit, but no, not for me. Look at Mbappe there, trying to bend his run. He's had no ball yet, Mbappe. He's desperate, he's running square to get in, so he's not offside, but nobody has got their head up or got themselves in a position where they can slide that ball into him. Look at him. He's going again, look, running across the line, but they can't set the ball up right to make that pass.
Across it comes now to Carreras. Heavy first touch, but Put out for a throw-in by Lamine Yamal. Real Madrid in a hurry, naturally. Carreras. Mbappe's come short. Nice dummy, Rodrigo. Put out by De Jong, and now maybe the pressure will come from Real Madrid in the closing stages. Alonso desperate for an equaliser. Two minutes left of the 90.
Yamal, actually, young man, 18, doing the right thing there. Put himself about, right? See the game out, he's saying.
Well, it was said in some of the Spanish press ahead of this competition that Xabi Alonso, in their words, was living on borrowed time, could be defining for his future with Real Madrid, this competition. Of course, beat their city rivals Atletico in the semi-finals. Weren't entirely convincing. Even Valverde admitted that perhaps Atletico had been the better side. I wonder how this performance, if they were to go on to lose this, would be reviewed tomorrow in the Spanish press. That's for later on, perhaps, because Barcelona might seal it here with Rashford.
Yeah, he's shown great pace, hasn't he, in the latter period of this game. I mean, Real Madrid players must have looked, oh, Rafinha's going off, that's a good sign, and then they see that Rashford's coming on, he's got the pace to get him behind. Does quite well in the end there. But no, I thought, he just crashes himself. That's why Rashford went down to the player. Yeah, he did well there, Rashford, because he was concerned. There's that ball over the top.
Will they get one last chance here at Real Madrid? Koundé was calm. A battle there between Mbappe and Lamine Yamal. De Jong flew into that. And it's a red card. And the referee didn't need much thinking time at all there, did he? And as we move into added time at the end of the game here, Barcelona are reduced to 10 as they defend this lead.
And Mbappe does really well, doesn't he, to nick the ball from Jamal. And then he does a little step over. And he tries to be clever and beat De Jong. De Jong's lost his head a little bit there. He's gone to ground too early. And as it happened, I thought, oh, you're in trouble here. And referee's deemed it, and he's given him a straight red. Let's have a little look at it. There it is. There's the two. Look, fabulous players, but having to defend, and beautiful play from Mbappe. Excellent. Does the little. I mean, is it a red card? I think the fact there that he comes out and he tries a bit of skill there. There's a lovely little bit of skill there, and he's looking up. There's the little step over. Oh yeah, he just might.
It's high, isn't it?
It's his second leg that comes up very high, doesn't it? When you see it in slow motion, it's always difficult to assess because it looks much worse than it is. But when I first saw it, I wasn't sure. Thought maybe a booking, but he went for a straight red.
So a minimum of 5 minutes added time. It's clearly going to be longer than that now, but Barcelona down to 10, but 3-2 up and on the brink of winning this. Can Real Madrid find a way to send us to penalties, perhaps?
Well, there's that, and also from Barcelona's point of view, can they play with 10 men and defend it properly and really defend and see this game out? That's an intriguing scenario as well.
The whole game's been intriguing, hasn't it? Araujo is going to come on here, centre half, who's had his injury problems of late. So it's Lamine Yamal who makes way for the centre-back to come on, as Barcelona look to close this out and make it back-to-back Super Cup victories. Remember, that's not been done since 2011. There's all sorts going on the touchline.
Is there anyone on that bench that hasn't been booked?
It's an enviable task to referee a match between Real Madrid and Barcelona, isn't it?
I think Hansi Flick, got booked earlier on as well, if I recall. But somebody else has another booking done. It's had everything, this game, isn't it?
It's been fantastic.
Really has.
Have we seen the last of the goals, though? This could be a little like the end of the first half, where it was said it was 3 minutes added time, and it ended up being a lot more than that. Of course, the red card for De Jong came as we just went into added time. Goulet's pass. Goulet again. Carreras. Alaba. Goulet. Everybody behind the ball for Barcelona. Real Madrid looking to push. Carreras. Really good play that by Rashford. And he's gone for the return ball as well. And he's going to get there. Now, does he head for goal? He is going to. It's Marcus Rashford, and he's put it wide. I wondered whether he might head for the corner flag.
Well, I'm sure it came into his mind. I bet his manager now wishes he had. But I think, because he was so far away, I think he did the right thing. He's got to hit the target, though. Well, he's only done the right thing if Real Madrid don't score.
Goulet. Rodrigo. Breathless end to the game. Goulet almost trying to nick it off him. Kylian Mbappe, good ball. Goulet, there's plenty in the box. And might there be a chance? There is, and it's straight at the goalkeeper. What an opportunity. Carreras was in there, but he just hit it straight at Joan Garcia.
Oh, how calm would he have been? This is the problem. I think he gets it on the penalty spot. Look here, he's got loads of time. And he just can't find the angle to put it in that bottom corner, straight at the goalkeeper. And Garcia, thankfully, it's straight at him. Takes it easy, and now they can go to the corner flag.
Was that their last chance? Torres, and what a chance it was as well.
What a chance, Adam. My word. Just fell probably to the wrong player. And he's so left-footed, it was a little bit in between his feet, and couldn't find the angle.
Ceballos with the pass to the man who just had that chance. Heading towards the 7th minute of added time. Kylian Mbappe, can he save them? Now he goes into the box, needs a quality ball in there, and it's going to be a corner. Won by Mastantuono. Barcelona won the final whistle. And up comes Thibaut Courtois in the 7th minute of added time.
Oh, he couldn't, could he? He could. This would just sum it all up, this game. This would have absolutely everything. If he's the reason why they get the equaliser or scores himself.
Barcelona are holding on. Surely just seconds remaining. In it goes towards Courtois, and it came to Mbappe. Another ball in, and the header straight at the keeper again. Didn't even have to move. Two great chances.
He just puts it back in. There's a lovely little ball in there, isn't it? And Sensio's got to find the corner, surely.
Barcelona retain the Super Cup. Back-to-back winners. And once again, they've beaten their fiercest rival to do it. Just look at the joy on those faces. Hansi Flick maintains his personal 100% record in finals. That's 8 out of 8. His 4th trophy with Barcelona. What a match this was. settled by a deflected effort in the end from Rafinha that deceived Courtois. But this was a game that had everything. De Jong on the pitch after he was sent off in added time. What a game of football, Glenn Hoddle.
Oh, it was magnificent, absolutely magnificent. We were looking forward to it. We thought it was going to be like this. We hoped it was going to be like this, but it had everything, absolutely everything. And the rivalry between these two clubs, look at it. Look how much it means to these Barca players. And psychologically, it's a big blow as well for Real Madrid. I mean, Alonso there, look, Alonso is just going across to the referee. He's keeping his cool, but I think he knows he's under immense pressure now. But second half, they came out and they played much better, Real Madrid, I've got to say. And they always looked a threat. It wasn't as if it was, you know, game, set and match. It was too easy for Barca. They had to work extremely hard, but my word, they had some fantastic players out there, both teams, and, well, it's been a wonderful, wonderful occasion.
Xabi Alonso misses a golden opportunity to deliver his first silverware as Real Madrid coach. The consequences of that we'll discover in time at this Barcelona's night, the 2026 Spanish Super Cup winners. And they'll celebrate this long into the night. A great atmosphere here. And it was just a game that had you on edge in the best possible way, all the way through. Wonderful entertainment from these two teams. Really bad Adji didn't get on tonight, but of course was part of the team and scored in the semi-final, that 5-0 win over Athletic Club. The way the game toed and froed as well, and there was that period at the start of the second half where Real Madrid looked much better. It was like they worked things out, wasn't it, after the first half? Yeah,
they were lifted by getting the equaliser just going in for half-time, and it gave Xabi Alonso a different sort of team talk in many ways, and they came out, they pressed higher up the pitch, had a bit more belief about them, a bit more energy, and down this left-hand side, well, in that period of time, they had, what, 3 or 4 really good positions they got themselves into, could have ended up getting their noses ahead, and then Barcelona eventually just started to regain control of the game, and that was when they got the third goal, and that was key. That was the key moment. Sometimes you can control a game again, get back in the game, but don't score, then the other side has a chance. But no, everything worked out perfectly well.
He might have ended up on the losing side, Vinicius, but I think tonight we saw him approaching somewhere near back to his best, didn't we?
Yes, we did, yeah. I mean, you know, the goal he scored, the individual goal was incredible. It was a fabulous goal, and he was so positive. Every time he got the ball, he was positive. He didn't look like a man that had gone, what, 16 games without scoring. But no, tonight he looked as if he was clear, he was mentally clear, and he was up for the game with no doubt about it. And it was a magnificent goal. Perhaps after that period, that was the best time that they had in that second half. Should have perhaps kept getting the ball out to him.
Now Barcelona looking favourites to go on and win the La Liga title again. Tchouameni crestfallen, 4 points above Real Madrid in La Liga right now, 11 points above Villarreal and Atletico, and they've won the first Spanish silverware of the season. And we should reflect as well, Glenn, on the job that Hansi Flick has done and is doing at Barcelona. Won all the trophies, domestic trophies available last season, has won the first of this season, fell short in the Champions League last season, but the overall body of work so far is really impressive.
Oh, it's been brilliant, and it's been impressive, it really has. My only big question, I mean, the one thing they've got to do now is go on and try and have an attempt at the Champions League. That would be the icing on the cake. That's what they'll be aiming for. I've always questioned that. I've always feel that when they come against the the top teams, if they continue having that high line and that square line back four being so square, a really good team with good players will pick them off. On any given day, you will create a lot against them, and I think that's the problem. If they slightly change that, they could end up winning the Champions League, but I don't think he will. I think it's a tactic that he wants to keep going at.
Lewandowski, el autor de uno de los goles. Enhorabuena, vaya final, ¿no?
Another big game going on right now.
Estoy contento. Tenemos un título que siempre que ganamos contra la Madrid es un partido grande y también hoy.
So another big game, as I say, going on TNT Sports right now in Serie A. let's remind ourselves of just how Barcelona have won the Spanish Super Cup. Wonderful game of football, 4 goals in the first half, evenly spread. This the opener, Glenn, scored by Rafinha.
Yeah, fabulous. He had a fabulous game, he really did. Every time he was on the ball, he just missed the sitter as well, just before that. But as soon as he gets 1v1 here, it's about shifting the ball there. He knows exactly what he's doing there. He's just shifted it to the left. He knows the defender has got to put his foot out to try and block the shot, but he swivels back, it goes right through his legs to that bottom corner. No goalkeeper in the world can save that.
This, as we went into added time at the end of the first half, it is simply Vinicius Junior at his best, individual brilliance.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, Pedri comes from the wrong side here. He should have been on the inside of Koundé to cover him, actually, but it's individual flair, it's individual brilliance. You know, when he picks the ball up, you're thinking, well, there's no danger for a goal here. How's he going to score from there? But my word, little nutmegs, comes inside, has the pace to get on the other side, and then just shifts the ball inside, and there takes it so quickly. Garcia can't make any save. He just sort of stabs it out, doesn't he? It's a brilliant goal, it really is, and he looked lively all night. For somebody that had gone 16 games without a goal, he looked good.
And then almost immediately, Barcelona reply. Lewandowski with just the sort of finish we've seen from him so many times over the years.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is what he's all about, isn't he? Look, little scoop, little smile on his face as the ball's going in off the inside the post. And there's his manager, absolutely delighted, and rightly so, because they bounce back so quickly. What they couldn't do is hold on again, because Real Madrid showed great character. And it's a really clever goal. He does really well, Garcia. He's falling backwards. He's under immense pressure. Manages to keep it under that bar and hits the bar and goes in. A better finish, actually, when you look at it again. Rafinha jumps extremely well, gets a little touch, stops the ball from going in first and foremost. But there's the finish. Hits the underside of the bar and in. And we had a real game on. And that changed everything for the half-time talk for Xabi Alonso. It really did, because as a football match, Barcelona first half were absolutely brilliant, outplayed Real Madrid.
Just carnage, wasn't it? Footballing carnage at the end of that first half.
Yeah,
so
had everything, didn't it? Had everything. It really did.
And the game settled in the end by a deflected goal.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this is when they suddenly got the possession again and they upped it. In and around the penalty area, that's their little signal. That area of the pitch is when they go into another gear. They go through the gears and everything's quicker. And there's a big deflection here. Courtois, you see him falling down to as if it's going to go in the bottom corner. There's the 1-2, quick feet. There he slips as well. There's the deflection of Asensio. It just catches his foot here. There you go, little touch. He slips, but he gets a shot in with his right foot, and that's the reason why the ball's gone high in the net, and Courtois is down on the ground, expecting that shot to be coming, so he pushes it round the post. But it was a little bit fortunate, but there you go.
This the red card. I think at first maybe wondered if it was a bit harsh, but when you see from another angle, maybe you could question the force. It is high.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because when I saw it, I thought it was a silly tackle. But you see Mbappe working back here on young Yamal, and here he comes, a little step over that I think actually does De Jong. It confuses him a little bit, but he slides in, and once you slide in, you're out of control. And I think that's what the referees looked at. And in the first position here, he doesn't really catch the ball, and he catches Mbappe first. And I think in the end, that's probably the right decision. When you look at it like that, it's more difficult in slow motion. It looks worse, but I think it was a good decision in the end. And
added time, deep into added time. We wondered if they'd get a chance, Real Madrid, to equalise. They didn't have one, they had two. Both fell to defenders, though. The first to Carreras. Yeah, Carreras there. He's in the penalty spot. What a chance. It really, I think it's a little bit in between his feet, you know. And he's left-footed. He wants it on his left foot. He's got time, but he can't really open his body up to get it into that bottom corner. And then Courtois, they send the goalkeeper up, everything, throwing the kitchen sink, everything. There's the chance, and he's got to do better. Asensio's got to do better. He's above it. He can actually see the open space in the corner where it needs to go, but it goes straight down Garcia's throat.
and he had a couple like that, Garcia, where it went straight at him and he made important saves.
So now we get ready for the trophy presentation. First up come the officials. Almost always a difficult game to officiate. Did his best, I think, to try and let the game flow at times. It got a little bit scrappy, didn't it, in the second half? I wouldn't really apportion blame to the referee for that necessarily. The red card shown to De Jong. But they really did put on a show, these two teams. And whilst Real Madrid have lost, they certainly played their part in that. Of course, after games like this, after every El Clasico, there is always reflection. People ask, where are these particular teams in their development? Of course, they're always measured against each other, aren't they? What do you think the reflections will be, Glenn, on where this side is, this Real Madrid side, under Xabi Alonso? Because that question is going to be asked.
Well, as a team, I think they're way behind Barcelona. You've got to say that. I said earlier in the first half, you could see that Barca had a real good system. Everyone had clarity in how they were going to play defensively when they lost the ball and when they certainly had the ball. And that's not taking away anyone's individual flair. There's a system, but they've got the individual flair. Whereas I think Real Madrid are relying on individualism. It's Mbappe, it's maybe Bellingham having a great game, Vinicius tonight. You know, they're relying on individuals. I didn't really see a team that had clarity and you think, well, that's a great system. That's a difficult system to play against. But, you know, they found it hard to close Barcelona. A lot of teams will find it hard because they're so good on the ball. But no, I think there's some question marks there. I don't know if they've got a batch of players that are good players. They've got a few exceptional players. But overall, I don't see the depth of their team as exceptional.
I think it's fair to say that Barcelona are the favourites to win La Liga. But then obviously everyone, after they fell short to Inter in the Champions League last season, will look at it and say, has this team improved? Has it kicked on from last season when they did fall short in the Champions League? Can they win it this season? They've got to be among the contenders, and a lot will depend on the draw as well. But do you see that this is a team that's building on last season?
Yes, I think so, and I think they've got the full confidence of the coach. I mean, they've won trophy after trophy last year domestically. They obviously, the Champions League is one that they've got their eye on now. There's no doubt about it. As I said earlier, Adam, it just concerns me how they defend so high, close to the halfway line, and they stay square. A back four that stays square, even if it's, you know, close to the 18-yard box. So I think a really, really good side with good movement. And good purveyors of the ball, I think, can open them up. It's whether they take the chances. But as a footballing side, I look at them and I look at Man City. They're two wonderful football teams. If you want to watch a really good team that's functioning well with clarity, with the creativity, not sure about the glasses. Rafinha there, it's not that bright over there, surely.
He was just given the MVP award. You can see he's clutching there. Joan Laporta looked pretty emotional there as he hugged Hansi Flick. What a good appointment Flick has been.
He certainly has, hasn't he? Of course he has. You've got to, you know, Barcelona or Real Madrid, you've got to bring trophies in, and he's certainly done that. But I like the way that they're playing. I mean, they're a football side. They've got wonderful players, but they've got a team structure about them, and they've got that swagger now, and they've got bench changes. They've got players that can come on from the bench, and actually the 9 out of 10 performance that they were reaching, certainly in the first half, it's not going to dip down very much from there. So they're going to be contenders for the Champions League. There's no doubt about it. It depends domestically if they can wrap up. They've wrapped up this trophy. Can they wrap up La Liga early in the season, as early as they can, so they can concentrate on the Champions League?
So now just the trophy presentation to come. He's certainly played a huge part again tonight. Rafinha, having scored twice in last season's Super Cup final, he's repeated the feat. They, as a team, have repeated the feat. This is a really impressive group of players, led by a fantastic coach. They hold every single domestic honour in Spanish football, and as Glenn says, the target now for the club clearly will be the Champions League. That's the big one that they really want. Hard for the Real Madrid president there, Florentino Perez, to watch on as the Barcelona players are given their medals. Araujo returning from injury tonight. and now ushered over towards the trophy. This is what it's all been about. The Spanish Super Cup to be presented to them now. Not since 2011 had a team retained this trophy, but Barcelona have done it tonight. They are the 2026 Spanish Super Cup winners. And what a game we've seen tonight in Jeddah. Fantastic entertainment, but it's Barcelona who prevail and retain their trophy. So Barcelona the winners here, but there's lots more live football to look forward to on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. After what's been an epic weekend in the FA Cup. And of course, it continues tomorrow with a game at Anfield, Liverpool against Barnsley. Next week, the Adobe Women's FA Cup returns, and the WSL teams are in Tier 3. West Brom host Everton on Thursday night. West Ham travel to Newcastle on Friday, and Sunderland face